Hi, this is Ben from Berscak Custom Guitars, and today we're going to be taking a look at some fretwork tools. We're going to be breaking down, things in terms of beginner, medium, advanced, and what you'll need if you're going to be working on your own guitar. I'll be breaking down some of the stuff that I use on a regular basis here in the shop. And as always, this video is not in any way, sponsored. These are all my tools. I bought them all myself. But all links will be in the description below for everything that we're going to be talking about here today. They're non-affiliate links, so I don't get anything out of it. It's just for your own reference. But yeah, let's get started. So one of the things that really kind of intimidated me about, when I first started working on guitar, was fretwork. I was terrified of it. I know that there was a lot of different tools that I would need, and it just seemed like really easy to screw up. And I don't want to touch it. But honestly, after I got a few basic tools and kind of started doing it a little bit and getting more comfortable with it, I did a little more and a little more and a little more until I worked up to now being able to do full refrets and leveling and recrowning and all that stuff. And I'm totally comfortable with it, and I actually enjoy doing it now. But in the beginning, it was a little intimidating, because you figure, you don't want to touch it, you don't want to screw it up, you don't want to get anything, out of being level. So definitely one of the most basic things that you'll need is some straight edges and a leveling beam. Okay, now yeah, you can get them from a lot of different places on Amazon or anywhere else on the web. But I found a really great company that I really like. That's also happens to be local to me. I'm in South Jersey, so this company is based out of Philadelphia, which is right down the block practically. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is a sanding beam. Okay, and this one is from Philadelphia Luthier Tools. Okay, this is a 16-inch leveling beam. It's just square stock steel. This one is chrome plated, but it has two perfectly machined flat surfaces on it. Alright, and what I do is I take some self-adhesive sandpaper. I use about 320 grit sandpaper, and I cut the strips down that are small enough to fit on this top and bottom here. I use Duragold. It's available on Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive, but it's good. That's the thing. You don't want to cheap out too much on your sandpaper. You don't have to get the most expensive stuff. But in my opinion, Duragold is kind of the best of both worlds. It's not too expensive, and it's actually pretty good. You're not going to burn through it too quickly like you would on some inexpensive stuff, and you're not going to get the sand, grit, the actual sand coming off of the paper and being all over your work surface. So I really like this fret leveling beam. This is going to help you, get everything perfectly level up and down the fretboard. And this runs about $32. On Philadelphia Luthier Tools website at the time of making this video, and of course links will be in the description below. Now another thing that you're going to need is a notched straight edge. Okay, this one is also from Philadelphia Luthier Tools. It has two sides. One side is for Fender scale, meaning 25.5 inch. And then you flip it over, the other side is for Gibson scale, or 24 3/4 inch. This is machined out of, I believe, aluminum. But it has a nice heft to it. Has a nice little, I have it hanging up on my board back here normally. But this thing runs about $33 on Philadelphia Luthier Tools website, again, as of the making of this video. And this is super important because, again, it helps you, you put this over the fretboard. The notches, go where the actual fret, the steel frets are, or the nickel frets, and then it'll let you see whether the fretboard is perfectly level, whether or not you have to, adjust the truss rod again with the strings off of it, and that way you'll know exactly when your fretboard is level. So then you can move on and use your leveling beam to get everything perfectly flat. And then finally, as far as straight edges and things like that, it's just a regular straight edge. This is an 18-inch, a regular plain old straight edge. Both sides here, top and bottom, are machined perfectly flat. It's just good to have. I like having it. This will cover most or all of your frets on your fretboard. It also is good for, like, you know, if you need to cut something, if you need to use a razor to cut sandpaper, for instance, I use it for that too. So it's just really good to have, you know, in your arsenal of tools. And this runs about $38 at the time of making this video. It's just something that comes in really handy, and it never hurts to have one on hand. All right, so let's talk about this little guy, the Fret Rocker. Again, this one is from Philadelphia Luthier Tools. It's handy because it actually is like you know, each side of this is a little mini straight edge, and you just put it on top of the frets. You know, you have place it in between 3 frets, and you can see if, you know, you have any high spots as you move up and down the fretboard. I'm not going to get into too much on how to, like, do a whole, you know, fret job or whatever, but these little guys are really handy. Some are good and some are bad. This one's awesome. You know, at the time of making this video, it's about $11 on Philadelphia Luthier Tools website. I happen to think that's a bargain. You know, it's super nice. You know, all their stuff has, like, their little logo laser etched on the front of it and stuff. It's just nice. I had one from Amazon that was not so nice. It was a lot cheaper, if you could believe it, cheaper than $11. And it was I remember one of the sides wasn't true. And I remember testing it against you know, an actual straight edge, and one of the sides was not perfectly straight, so or you know, level. So it's important to, you know, if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, you want to have accurate tools. Do you need to spend, you know, the money on something like StewMac for this stuff? Not necessarily. Kind of the stuff we've spoken about so far. I think Philadelphia Luthier Tools is a really great, a little more budget friendly, not inexpensive, but definitely less expensive than StewMac. I feel like their stuff is definitely on par, and it's definitely well-made tools. So I would definitely recommend it for the extra money. Spend a few extra bucks and get a quality fret rocker. So sticking with, you know, the stuff that I get from Philadelphia Luthier Tools, there's a couple more things. One is the good old fret hammer. This runs about 24 bucks on their website as of this video. There's a bunch of different ways that you can get into, you know, fret stuff. Some people like to press in their frets. Fret presses are really expensive, a lot more expensive than 24 bucks. So you have the brass side of the hammer here that you would use for hammering in the frets because it won't mar the nickel. The brass is softer than the nickel or the stainless steel if you're using that. And it just is a good way. It's a quality, you know, it's a good way to get your frets, you know, hammered into your fretboard. If you're doing like a full, like, refret where you rip the old frets out and put new ones in. Not everyone's going to need one of these. Obviously, it's a little bit more of an advanced tool, even though it's just a hammer. You know, it's advanced in terms of, like, you got to be comfortable with doing a full, you know, fret removal and you know, refret on the guitar. So not everyone is going to need this, but if this is the kind of work that you're looking to do, I would definitely recommend this. This particular one is really good quality. And the final thing that I get from Philadelphia Luthier Supply is tape. You gotta have tape. So this is a set of 3, you know, different widths of tape. It was about $9 for the whole set of 3 on Philadelphia Luthier Tools website, and it's nice because it's just like painter's tape. But these sizes are the right sizes that you would need to use on guitar. And sometimes you have to kind of, like, play, you know, every guitar is a little different depending on the scale length. You just use your judgment. It's just really easy to tape off the fretboard on the top and the sides. That way you don't get any tooling marks, or you don't mar your fretboard up and scratch everything up. Just a really good idea to have, and it's not expensive, but this stuff is good tape. I've used this a lot, and I'm going to continue to use it, and it doesn't break the bank, which is really nice. So let's get this out of the way right now. This is going to be the big guy. Okay, this is the Z file from StewMac. Okay, now what this is a fret crowning file. Okay, so after you've leveled your frets, this is going to be what, you know, puts that curve back into them, and it leaves a tiny little strip of flat along the very top of the fret where the string is going to contact. Now this guy is expensive. Okay, it's $124 on Amazon as of making this video. Okay, it's a little cheaper. It's actually not cheaper. It's at the same price on StewMac's website. The difference is that on Amazon, shipping is included, And on StewMac's website, shipping is not included. But if you go through all the motions of like putting in your cart and getting shipping quotes, it comes out to the same price. So it's $124 as of right now. I got this on sale. I paid about $100 for this. Sometimes they do have sales throughout the year, so keep an eye out for that. But this is the original Z file. They have 3 in total. They're all the same price. They have one that has like a safety edge, where I guess this edge is like a little dull, so it doesn't scratch anything. And they have another one that does both sides of the fret at once. This one is a single-sided, it's double-sided, but it does one side of the fret at a time. So you have to like do a few passes on, one way, and then you flip it over, and then do a few passes the other way to do both sides of the fret. And again, this is to put that crown, that curve, back in the fret after you've leveled it. I have here, this is like a cheapo one from Amazon. This is like 10 or 15 bucks. This was the first fret file I ever got, and I figured, oh, well, why am I going to spend more money? I can afford 10 bucks or 15 bucks, whatever it was. This is garbage. It doesn't work. It takes forever, and it leaves the fret really, really rough on top. It does not work well at all. I do not recommend that you get this type of file. They go under multiple different brands and names and whatever on Amazon, but they all look exactly the same with the orange handle here. And don't get it. Just trust me. Don't waste your money. It's not worth it. You don't have to get the StewMac. There are other companies. I think Fret Guru is one of them. I haven't used their fret file personally, but I've heard good things. They have really good reviews on Amazon. So that one I think is about 40 or 50 bucks, so it's a bit cheaper. But the nice thing about StewMac is that they have a lifetime guarantee. So if this thing ever breaks or dulls or anything like that, I can get a replacement for life at no cost. So that's pretty cool. So it kind of helps offset the cost. This is literally the best fret crowning file on the market. And I really recommend this if you can swing it. And since we're on the subject of StewMac, here I have their fret end crowning file. And this is just like the finishing, to finish off the very ends of the fretboard, the fret on the fretboard, just kind of round off the sharp edges where your fingers are going. That way you don't, chew up your fingers and stuff like that. This is a very nice file. It's about $26 on Amazon. Again, it's same price on StewMac's website. It's just that Amazon has the shipping included. It's a really nice file. There are other companies that make similar things. I have not used theirs, but I've just used the StewMac one. It's nice because one side has like a rounded off dull finish. I got a close up. You'll see that now. But that way it doesn't mar the fretboard. You can kind of get in there and do your fret end filing and smooth everything over really nice without hurting your fretboard. And this is a super fine file. If you feel this, it's a super fine file. So it gives a really nice high polish finish. I get some really nice results with this. I highly recommend it. All right, we got some fret nippers. So these are from Knipex. I got them on Amazon. And basically, this is going to be, if you're looking to do a full refret, this is what you're going to use to cut the fret to the actual size of the fretboard on the guitar. These were about 18 bucks on Amazon at the time of this video. They're pretty good. They're made in Germany. Good quality, not too expensive, but it's a good quality tool. Again, you don't really need this unless you're looking to do a full, refret on a guitar where you're looking to put brand new frets in there and cut them down to size. This is something that I definitely recommend. There's a lot of different tools that are claimed to be fret nippers. These aren't specifically made for frets, but they definitely do the job, and I highly recommend them. And here we have a fret end beveling file. Now what this does is it actually, so when this is for someone who's looking to do a full refret. You're putting brand new frets on the guitar. This actually puts an angle on the edge of the fret towards the end of the fretboard. All right, this is a brand called CP Giddy. on Amazon. This was about 50 bucks on Amazon at the time of making this video. StewMac has these too. Theirs are plastic instead of wood, and they're way more expensive. This one does the trick. I really like it. I got good results with it. The wood, you just put this on top of the frets and you kind of rock it back and forth on each side to give it that, give the end of the fret that bevel. It's at an angle. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but the file here is actually on an angle, and that's the angle that'll be put on the frets. I like this one. Is the StewMac one going to give you better results? I don't know, but this is the one I use, and I get really good results with it. And here we have the fret guards from Music Nomad. Now I really like these. They're about 12 bucks on Amazon as of the making of this video. It's nice because a lot of these fret guards don't have this little handle. So you kind of have to like awkwardly hold this little piece of metal as you're trying to like polish your frets. It's really awkward. So the fact that these have these little blue handles on the edge of them just makes it really nice. You can hold them and do your thing, and it's really not a big deal. I don't know why someone else didn't think of this first. But yeah, Music Nomad's great for cool little gadgets like this. They come in 3 sizes, kind of small, medium, large for all your different size frets. I have never actually used the small one. I've just used kind of like the medium and the large for your like jumbo and medium jumbo frets. But yeah, these are good for not only if you're doing like a whole fret polish job, but like even just in between, if you're just doing regular maintenance on your guitar. I do this usually, maybe not every string change, but like every few string changes. I'll just use this. I don't tape it up for that stuff. I just use this and I put it over the fret. I got some, fret. This actually came with fret polish. Also, the Music Nomad Fine fret polish. I think it's like 25 bucks for like the kit that includes that also. And these, I just take a cloth, like a microfiber cloth, and I just, polish the frets up. Just a quick job. It's not going to be as intense as if we're using, like an automatic polisher like this thing. But, it does a pretty good job. Alright, so the other tool that I use for fret polishing is a rotary tool. I have it hanging up here. Usually it's hanging off to the side, off camera. But when I'm using it, I have another hook over here, so it's right in my workspace. This particular one is made by Wen. I think it was about 20 bucks as of the making of this video. And this was a kit that included this extension shaft, and it had a carrying case and a whole bunch of accessories. I like this for when I'm doing fretwork on a guitar that I'm building. When I have everything taped up already, I have the whole fretboard and everything taped up from doing the leveling and crowning and all that stuff, I use this with some jeweler's rouge. Now that's about $12 on Amazon. Again, all links in the description below. But it's just like a super fine, like reddish kind of polish compound. Comes like a little brick. I have it like under here in a Tupperware because it's kind of messy. But you just use the rotary tool, scoops them up. I have like the little felt wheel on the top here, the polishing wheel. And the rouge works really, really good. Gives a nice mirror finish. Again, it's stuff that jewelers use to polish jewelry, so it's going to do great on your frets. So this is the tool that I actually use, like I said, when I'm building the guitar. And the other stuff, like the fret guards that we just spoke about, I'll use those just for regular maintenance purposes. Alright, and so the last tool that I kind of wanted to talk about in regards to fretwork are these little guys. I think these are technically wire cutters, like really thin tip wire cutters. And I think they came with like a cheapo soldering iron kit that I had from like back in the day, like a no-name brand thing that came with a bunch of accessories. But I don't use it as a wire cutter. I actually use these as fret pullers. So if you're looking to do a refret on a guitar, you have to get the old frets out. What I do is I heat up the fret with my soldering iron, like the actual fret itself, just to kind of loosen it up and loosen glue if it's super glued in. Sometimes you kind of loosen that stuff up, and then the tips of these are thin enough to kind of pinch underneath the fret and lift the tang out of the neck without damaging it, and without damaging the fret, without damaging the neck. I've got some really great results with these. And these are, I don't have a link for these because I don't know where you would get these. I'm assuming you could get them on Amazon, but these are just really fine-tipped wire cutters, and they work really good as fret pullers. You don't need, you don't have to have a fret puller tool necessarily to do the job. That is kind of the point. Sometimes you need the specialty tools. Sometimes you do, and sometimes it is worth the investment. But sometimes you can just use what you have if it works. So don't be afraid to kind of experiment with some tools you have laying around. Just go easy with it. It's not always going to work out that way, but you might have something like this that can come in handy, and it may not cost you anything. So I just wanted to throw that in there also. All right, so that's it. These are all the fret tools that I have that I use on a regular basis, and hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I always try to answer as many comments as I can. And of course, be sure to like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, hit that bell notification, all that good stuff, so you'll be notified whenever we post new content. And definitely make sure to follow us on Instagram at berscakcustomguitars. All links are in the description below. Thanks so much for watching.